Welcome to Shonen Flop Chibi, the first impressions mini episode where we talk about the first chapter of the series that we'll be covering in depth next week with our guest, Chibi Leah from the Three Weebs podcast. I'm Jordan, and with me today, as usual, is my lovely co-host, David. Say hi, David.
Hi, David. That was my attempt at a metal voice.
Yeah, that wasn't a James Hetfield one, though. It's more like,
Hi, David! Yeah! Okay, so Jordan, though, what are we covering this week?
we're covering Metallica Metalluca. Metallica Metalluca, if you couldn't fucking understand what I was saying.
Yeah, it's a good thing this series is metal because it sure doesn't rock.
Hey!
Oh, bazinga.
Boom! Boom!
That's my 6-word summary. There you go.
Yeah, it's the series doesn't rock. It might hunt, though. You know what I fucking mean. Oh, God.
And then, Jordan, though, mind telling the audience a little bit about background on the series.
Yeah, so this manga was written by Kazuki Takahashi. Mizuno Teruaki. The run dates were between May 17th, 2010 to September 13th, 2010. And it ran for 20 chapters and 3 volumes. Is Takahashi the Yu-Gi-Oh guy, or did I fuck that up?
Do you mean Tagashi?
Damn it!
So Jordan is trying to make a joke in that this series, and we'll get into it after the plot summary, of course, but this series is, it's essentially how Gunblazed West ripped off One Piece. This is about the same level of ripoff for Hunter x Hunter.
This is trying real hard to be Hunter x Hunter, and it's not...
It's not subtle.
You'll tell from the plot summary how it does.
Yeah, so let's dive in.
All right. You know how a lot of manga have something that the entire world revolves around? In this one, it's metal, and not the cool kind with the guitar. I was very disappointed about that, David. Extremely disappointed. But yeah, everyone uses rare metals with magic properties that do cool stuff. This kid named Ruka, who is just like the worst fucking Gon ripoff, wants to be a Minea. It's Minea, which I just read the whole time as minor with a New York accent. Like, it's a Minea.
But it's not the thing Drake's into.
Boom. Oh my god. Yeah, wrecked. Fuck you, Drake. Yeah, a Minea is literally just a hunter from Hunter x Hunter. There is no difference. Like, they're like, a Minea's like a hero, and they can travel anywhere and do anything, and they can get like a lot of money, and it's like, these are all things that hunters are. But even the main character, he doesn't want the money. He wants to become a hunter, a Minea, just so he could travel everywhere.
And I bet it's to find his stepdad.
Oh, that might be the case. But after getting attacked by a giant bird with 6 wings when he's trying to get one of those medals, you remember how in Hunter x Hunter there's just like these weird animals that are combinations of other things? Weird.
Yeah, I was just thinking biblically accurate bird.
Yeah, biblically accurate bird, maybe a Digimon bird. But yeah, Ruka is sent smashing into a local village where he destroys their metal supplies somehow. I thought metal was supposed to be resilient, but he just wrecks a shack and that somehow destroys all their metal. I don't fucking know. The townsfolk are pretty pissed about it because their mine was shut down due to poison gas getting released. The townsfolk literally tie Ruka up. I think they're literally about to boil him into a stew when Ruka says he wants to be a Minea, which causes the elder to tell everyone, and especially David, you and me, the audience, that Mineas are like cool heroes. He then looks into Ruka's eyes and thinks he looks nice, so he's freed. Ruka meets Shella, a young girl whose brother Il, that's YL, was hurt by the poison gas from the mine and is now bedridden. Ruka acts like the most generic manga protagonist. Like there's like barely any fucking point in describing his actions. He's very brash and hot-headed, but man, when Il starts telling him that he's sick but he has dreams, Ruka just starts crying so much. Popcorn David.
He decides to go search for rare metals to help the town, which leads him to the closed down mine. Shella, who is keeping an eye on him, is immediately captured by a gang of criminals using weapons made from rare metals. They're led by Ward, a local guy that Shella knows, who is also supposed to be sick from the poisonous gas. Turns out the mine is totally safe.
Yeah, totally safe. Man, mines are traditionally very safe otherwise,
Yeah. I also felt like a very strong kind of libertarian. We're like, these damn regulations. They explicitly say regulations shut it down.
Yeah, and it turned out that actually the regulations were for nothing. They were just damaging everyone around them. How about that?
Yeah, turns out the mine is totally safe, but Ward just released the poison himself so he could get at the rare metals there to make cool weapons. He's going to kill Shell using a nice pair of scissors when Luka appears to save her. Luka is apparently from the Metallica tribe, who were powerful metal benders, and the first minus until cutting their hair and selling out in the 90s. Luka takes Ward's cool scissors and then taking out iron ore containing Yi's memories, yeah, that's just not explained at all, and molding it into a big hammer. I like how they were like, all these magical materials, and then he just uses iron.
Yeah, he uses iron ore that is somehow infused. Eel's memories. They never explain it. It just fucking...
I know what happened.
What?
The author heard about the idea of memory shape alloys and didn't understand what that meant.
God, you're so right. Fuck.
He smashes Ward with it and wins. Luka heads off to the city to become a Minea, but he promises to send Yi some of the medicine, but is quickly snatched up by the giant six-winged bird from earlier. How wacky.
Just wild, David. Definitely wasn't expecting the most generic fucking twist at the end of a manga like this. Like, fucking, all right, man. Like,
yeah.
Oh boy, giant bird.
Yeah, here I go getting snatched by birds again.
Here I go again getting snatched by birds.
Jordan, what were your first impressions? Let me guess. They were all negative.
You know, the art was pretty nice.
I think the art is if the guy from Zon had like just spent another 10 years like practicing. That's what it looks like. This looks like end stage Zon art.
I think it's a little better than that. The thing is, it's just so generic. Like, it's some dude who's like, you know, like a decent, semi-decently talented artist who's kind of trying to do One Piece a little bit. I see One Piece in some of the expressions, but they definitely don't go far enough. They reminded me kind of the faces in Red Hood a little bit.
Yeah.
Though the art in Red Hood is definitely much better. But yeah, let's see. It's the most generic shit. Like, there were a bunch of Hunter x Hunter ripoffs around this time. Like,
the opening is identical to Hunter x Hunter's.
Would you believe less interesting?
Yeah, well, all of this also series kind of reminded me of Build King.
I see that. Well, to be fair, Build King was also a Hunter x Hunter ripoff.
That's true, yeah. Well, as we've talked about, I feel every manga either descends from Hunter x Hunter or One Piece in modern Shounen Jump.
I mean, maybe, but also Jujutsu Kaisen descends from Naruto. So there you go. That's an example.
Yeah, and Naruto descends from, I would say probably it's Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, I guess Hunter x Hunter is older than Naruto. Yeah. Also, David, I was very disappointed by the lack of Metallica references, although I did potentially notice one that might be a Metallica reference, which is, so Metallica's first album is called Kill 'Em All, and the cover is a bloody hammer, and the hammer that Luka wields kind of looks like the hammer from Kill 'Em All, except like fancier.
Yeah.
Holding it at the same angle. I would not be surprised if that was intentional. Like, there are a lot of similarities. But other than that, yeah, there's no Metallica references. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, just imagine if all the villains or characters were like, it's like a Rocky and they're all musical references. Like the scissor guy was the Scissor Sisters.
I did notice that one of the chapters is like the lightning beast, so I'm gonna have to read that to see if there is a Ride the Lightning reference in there, but I don't know.
I think you're getting excited about something that's just a coincidence in translation.
There's literally nothing else to get excited about with this manga.
Also, I know I hate to say, oh, no background. This series, like, doesn't even use any sort of blacks. Like, look at how white every single page is.
Yeah.
This is very, very lazy art.
This guy does not use screen tone at all. He does not know how to do it. I mean, I will say some of it is very well detailed in some ways. Like, there are some nice looking background. Not everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Also, David, did you get the feeling that we were supposed to know who Ward was when he showed up?
Maybe?
Because when he shows up, it feels like it's supposed to be a reveal, like, whoa, you're that guy? But instead, Shella's just like, oh, Ward, you're another person who was definitely here before, who was also sick. Let me explain your backstory. And like, dude, if you just set that up, like one page, you're like, oh, this is Ward, he's also sick. And then he shows up later. It's like, that would have been better. That would have been something.
Yeah, it's all just a huge mess.
This is somebody who really does not understand the concept of setting things up.
Well, yeah, because they just watched 3 episodes of Hunter x Hunter and tried to write a manga based on that idea.
Yeah, like the thing about Hunter x Hunter is that it's actually extremely weird and does not stick at all to like any status quo.
Yeah.
It basically changes genres in between seasons. And that's because Togashi has fucking guts and he's good at it and he's willing to take huge risks. And this manga is like one of the least risk-taking things I've ever read.
Yeah, this is one of the safest things. But yeah, so Jordan, I will assume both of us would not read Naruto chapters of this.
boring as fuck. It's not even like fun bad. It's just like
Bad.
It's just like, man, I wasted my time reading this.
I was thinking for the floppies this year, we could say most manga most likely to have been written by an AI.
Yeah.
And this would definitely be a contender.
If not an AI, then maybe like a corporate board.
Like, what was it? Duran?
Doron had a lot more personality, even.
Not Duran.
No.
Speaking of music.
Band.
And Jordan, you're really, you'll have to let me know today, though, what Metallica cover you want to be parodied.
Because it has to be one, so I'm going to read a little bit more of this after we're done, just to see if I can find something. You want to get into the guesses?
Yeah, so my 3 guesses are there will not be a single Metallica reference that's, like, very blatant.
Like, not a blatant one. Like, I could stretch a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, this one's not real, but I was going to say we will compare this to Build King a lot.
Yeah.
My second real guess is his dad will be important as this is a Hunter x Hunter ripoff, and I make this joke every time, but I actually feel it this time.
No, this is like a direct Hunter x Hunter ripoff. This is the first chapter of Hunter x Hunter, but worse.
And then one of the main characters will be a takes no bullshit tough city girl.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good guess.
It may even be the first person he meets in the city is her.
That may be the case. I'll let you know. Well, I mean, you'll find out.
Yes, Jordan, I too have to read this manga, but I appreciate
you too have to read this. Maybe I can take some of the weight off your shoulders, though, David, but alas, I cannot because we are contractually obligated to read this, or else you don't want to know about the consequences.
This really was as bad as Tricks was good.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's very fair.
And then, Jordan, what are your guesses?
He's got to take the Minea exam.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. There's a super special rare metal that all the bad guys want that Ruka will have in the last chapter.
Probably be like adamantium or mithrolite or titanium, actually, if they're using real metal.
And then there's a time skip where they're all like, and Ruka came to be seen as a great Minea.
And then, Jordan, what's your power word?
Load. Yeah, this is a load of shit. But also, Metallica's big sellout album was called Load. And it has a picture made from blood and cum.
Okay, I assume that's not the one we're going to be parodying.
No, that's not the one. I mean, you can't tell it when you're looking at it, but
you can have a picture of Ross being like, get a load of this guy. All right, but mine is ersatz, which, Jordan, are you familiar with that word?
Yeah, like sort of a ripoff, or it's just
yeah, it's a fancy word for a poor imitation of something. But you know what isn't a ripoff?
Questions?
Our questions. So we've got some Q&A. So as a reminder, you can post your questions in the Shonen Flop Discord, where we give priority to people who haven't asked a question before, haven't had a question answered in a long time, and people who are King of the Force and above patrons. Kicking things off, we've got Albie, who asks, what would be included on the essential David and Jordan soundboard? I can think of one thing for sure.
Diegetic?
I can think of 2 things.
What's the other
We're
thing?
having fun here.
Yes, we're having fun here. Absolutely. A lot of me saying yeah.
No, the words Chainsaw Man.
Oh, God, yes. Chainsaw Man. Gomez, of course.
Goblin's getting up there.
Goblin's getting up there. It's raising.
It's true.
We're getting there.
Libertarian, actually.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, there's like fucking a bunch.
I wish we could ask Dylan, our editor. I'm sure he would probably just make it.
Yeah, hey, Dylan, let us know if you have any examples that are just rushing to you.
Oh, do it, Daddy. Maybe we'll make one.
Yeah.
Okay. From Meru, aka Charlie, they ask, what previously canceled manga would have had a better chance in today's Jump, taking account like new trends and like just digital release?
See, this one's tough because I kind of feel like it was easier and it's harder now, you know?
I don't know. I feel like Jump Plus really lets this kind of like weirder series thrive. Like, I know Time Paradox Ghostwriter had a good run, but like, I think that really shouldn't have been in the true magazine.
Like, we both love it, but yeah, that's a weird fit for it.
Or Red Hood, actually. Red Hood, I think, still would have been running if it was a Jump Plus series.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Red Hood should have been in a slightly more adult manga.
If Tricks got to be a monthly series, it probably would have still been running.
Yeah, if he had a little bit more time.
But that came out in 2021, so he had all these. I mean, that's the thing is, like, a lot of these older stories we have read were bad, you know?
They're just bad. Like, it's not like Zahn would still be going if it was running today.
Yeah.
It's not like Biichi would still be going if it was running today. And, I mean, unfortunately, it's like, as we've stated in the past, we can't really get that old with manga because so much of it is just straight up not translated. The canceled stuff, anyway, because by definition, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens with Project Gomez. Gomez scans. Some of our fans have created their own scanulation group just to translate series to try and have us read it.
Yes! Oh, it's so fucking crazy.
So shout out to Tapir for that project.
Tavir, I love you. Thank you.
And I also love our next person and patron. I think the other people were patron too, but sorry, it's hard to remember. Resident Warhammer Nerd asks, which of the 4 ruinous powers is your favorite? To give context on this question, the 4 ruinous powers, and please correct me if I'm wrong, those are the 4 chaos gods from Warhammer 40k, everyone's favorite fascism simulator.
Whichever one Bolt Thrower sings about more. That, like, most of the things I know about Warhammer just come from Bolt Thrower.
Everybody's got to love Uncle Nurgle. Unrelated, but someone was talking about how apparently Space Marines will go undercover, and it's like, how?
How do you do that?
Oh, this 8-foot tall person. No, that's just Bill. He just started working at the office this week.
Yeah, he's got a really tiny head.
Yeah.
You know, compared to the rest of his body. He's just wearing a t-shirt. Could you imagine a Space Marine in just like a t-shirt?
Yeah, I don't actually know what Space Marine recreationally do, but yeah.
They fight for the glory of the God Emperor, David. That is what they live for and they enjoy to do.
Oh my god, I'm just imagining Space Marine relaxing at the beach. They can't take their armor off, so they have like floaties on.
So can they literally not take their armor off?
I actually don't know. I don't know a ton about Warhammer lore. I'm sure Resident Warhammer Nerd will definitely post some corrections on whatever we are saying when the episode comes out.
Yeah. Also, Resident Warhammer Nerd, are you specifically a Warhammer nerd? Are you a 40k nerd? Because I know that they're technically different.
I think I've only seen them talk about 40k, but it could be both.
Gotcha.
Next up, from OzyRat, have you ever worn socks with sandals?
Maybe once or twice when I was like young, but I thankfully grew out of it. I gained some sense.
Sometimes I'm just so lazy. Rachel really gets mad at me when I do that, so...
Yeah, David, you kind of seem like a sometimes socks with sandals type of guy.
It's like I already got the socks on, and it's like I don't want to take my socks off to put flip-flops on to take my garbage out.
I mean, I rarely just wear sandals or flip-flops anyway.
Yeah.
It's just not something I do.
Fair. All right. Finally, from Isekai Sensei, who was our last guest and one of our brand new patrons, thank you so much for both being a guest and a patron. They ask, how hard is it to stop yourself from answering questions directly in the questions channel? And oh my god, is it so fucking hard to do that? I don't know about you, Jordan.
It's very easy for me.
Very tempting. And then sometimes you have people asking questions that they didn't intend to be read here. And then it's like confusing. I'm like, am I supposed to be answering this in writing or like, but unfortunately, that is all the time we have for questions today. Thank you everyone who submitted. And then Jordan.
No, we love you.
We love you. And I love you too, Jordan. So thank you so much for all of your hard work on the show.
David, thank you so much for the work that you do as well. I love you so much. You're special. You deserve to accomplish your dreams.
Sounds like something from Severance. That's a great show. I also want to give props to Shannon for the awesome cover art. You can find her online at illuminyatea, and thanks to Dylan for assistance with editing. Find his podcast, Anime Out of Context, at animeoutofcontext.com. Thanks to Tucker and Maxie B for assistance with pronunciation, translation, other miscellaneous research. You can find us on Twitter at ShonenFlopcast and our website, shonenflop.com. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, which would be so awesome to hit this month.
Oh God, amazing.
And come join the Shonen Flop Discord. It's open to everyone. Come hang out with us and talk about anime, games, or whatever else is on your mind. We also have a monthly movie night. You can find a link to it in the show notes or on our site. And if you've been enjoying the podcast and want to help us keep going, consider subscribing to our Patreon. Wouldn't be able to keep running the show without their support. Get a ton of awesome perks, including bonus episodes. Jordan, what did we release this month?
Oh man, we released the first part of our long-form review of Magu-chan, God of Destruction, featuring returning guest Sean from Anime Out of Context.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And you could even be sitting on this recording right now or helping us figure out what series we cover in a main episode. Find us at patreon.com/shonenflop. And speaking of perks, I'm going to read off some of our wonderful patrons. Starting, of course, with our Chainsaw Man patron, we have Daddy Rem Filler of Holes, Narrow and Gaping.
Oh my god.
Moving on down to the Dolphin Dad tier, we have Dude Man Bro Guy and Tracking Roving Animals for All Loving Girls and Raccoons Wolfwood.
That's you, TrafalagarWolfwood. He's here right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're listening right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, T. Wolfwood. We love you.
T. Wolfwood, I also want to give you an extra big thank you. I actually checked, and you are our oldest patron that is still ongoing, so thank you so much for being a day one supporter of the show. And then moving on down to the Ravioli tier, which, yes, is named after my Goblin Mo dog. We have Chris, Rachel, Scarlett Mirmaden, and Trevor Schechner. Moving on down to the King of the Forest, we have 090Z, Albie, Cram, Shala Florane, Chala Florian.
Head Shella.
And Darth Pikachu wants a Noyan Koi review. Gabe Landau, Israfont, Jacob Andrew Galloway, Josh Robinson, Kevin Briggs, Manji Knights, Marty, Max Baker, T, The Real Jory, The BB King, BB The. And moving on down to the Galactic Ball Federation officers, we have Blah Mumu, Brian Sexton, Dennis James Moan, Dolphin, Drago, Drew, Dylan Crider, Eric Alex Klein, Nigel. Dude, Nigel is so fucking awesome. So Nigel, our generous art benefactor, I'd actually said, Nigel, let me pay for your Patreon. It's the least I can do. You know, you do so much. And he was like, don't worry about it. I've been meaning to become a patron anyway, and he just signed up.
Fuck yeah. It's crazy because I would have already considered him kind of the most literal version of a patron.
He is the most patron of all time.
Like, he was already a patron even though it wasn't Patreon, so now he's a double patron.
Yeah, I just felt it was, like, not fair he wasn't getting access to the bonus content when he literally pays for the art for every episode.
That's very fair.
And then we have Generic Man, Green, Hans, Heavy Metal Hermit Crab. Oh, they're going to love this episode.
Oh, are they?
I've had nightmares like this as Misaka, Jason, Keanu, Lincoln Frey, Manly P. Hall, Marabara, my dad, Melvi, Mike Carpenter, Peyton Richardson, Rosendo Mendoza, Ryan Jasinski, Sarah Hydra, Scott Fischler. Oh my god, I have to go to the second page, Jordan.
Holy shit, David. We're making it. We're doing it. We're doing it.
Sipping for Senpai Ash, Staghorn, Tucker, our very own Tucker, Tyler, Wright, and ZZ Digital. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't believe how many patrons we have. This is awesome. We are at 60 patrons. We hit our most recent goal. Basketball Grandma episode has been recorded. We will release that as soon as it's done being edited.
What a masterpiece.
Jordan, speaking of masterpieces, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm still working on my abstract paintings. I am posting them to my Instagram, which is, again, Jordan Forbes Art. You can also check out my past paintings, jordanforbes.art. Something that should be on the soundboard is Give Me a Job.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for next Monday when we give our full thoughts on the series with our guest Chibi Leah from the Three Weeps podcast.
This is my Jordan.
This is David.
And you've been listening to Shonen Flop, and now for 2 more things that are definitely going to be on the soundboard. David, say it.
Keep on flopping, floppers.
Bye.
Bye.